All right, we're live.
Hey,
Yo, hello.
welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the first episode of the show
Of the show, the new
of this
show.
show. Yep.
Yeah, same as the old show.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as the old show. Um, except John's not here for a couple weeks.
So it's exactly the same as the old show.
Yeah, just like I said. Yeah, John is doing work trips,
Yeah.
runaway guys stuff.
Yes. So he's gone for 2.5 weeks or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know 2 episodes.
Yes.
Which I guess that means he's going to be doing American Thanksgiving in the States.
Yeah, probably. I would assume.
Yeah, well, because that's next week.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he should be there already, though. I think he left a few days ago. So
He is, yeah. He is, which is why he's not on the show this week.
Yeah, true.
Well, what's been up with you?
I started putting together my year-end ideas for like movies and TV shows and stuff like that. And
Okay.
yeah, there's a bunch I still need to catch up on, but I already have a pretty solid top 5 that I really feel is probably going to be the top 5. But I have a few more shows to catch up on before.
Pilgrim show comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, that's one of them I'm hoping is really good. So there's that. What else was
You started The Curse?
So I tried to, but there was a problem. I don't know what's going on with the sound on my TV, so I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I didn't end up watching it last night like I was planning to. But yes,
yeah, there's only one episode out. We watched the one episode. That is a really weird show. I don't know if I don't know if I get it.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like usually with the Nathan Fielder stuff, it's like, okay, I totally understand what the joke is going on here. This seems more like a regular show,
yeah,
with just like an air of, like a hint of the Fielder in there, and it's like, what is happening? What is this? What am I watching?
Man, I kind of don't want that. Okay, like I'll have to watch it, but I hope it's up my alley, because that doesn't sound like it's what I want at all. We'll see.
Yeah, it's not your typical Fielder stuff, that's for sure. So it's kind of its own thing. I'm still gonna watch more because I'm kind of curious to see how it develops.
Yeah. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah, and Invincible's back. Did you start up season 2?
No, I'm gonna wait for all of it to be out. I guess it's almost all out, right? How many episodes are there currently? Is it 3?
I don't know how many there's. It just started. There's like maybe 1 episode out.
Well, they're only doing 4 currently.
Oh, I didn't know that. 4 for the second season?
That's what I've been told, so I'm just gonna wait for all of them to be out. Yeah, 3 episodes are out, so they're almost done. I'll probably start it next week.
Holy smokes, news to me.
Yeah.
I only watched the first one.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. That's one of my favorite shows. So I'm stoked for that. The one I need to get to is Gen V. That's next, now that I've caught up on some other.
That just ended, so.
Yeah, perfect timing for me. I tried the first episode of Scavenger's Reign, and that thing is very cool looking, but that episode is kind of boring to me, so I'm wondering, okay. I'm gonna keep.
I told you about this one, so.
You did. That first episode's weird. I usually try to give 2 or 3 episodes before I write something off completely, but it's very cool looking. The art style and stuff is up my alley. Lots of body horror stuff already, which is neat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually didn't know much about it. I just saw some people tweeting, so I still need to check that out as well.
Cool. Do you have some ideas about? Like, I'm sure we'll probably put something down on wax, if that's what the kids still say, for a podcast about talking about that stuff at some point. But
yeah, my podcast episodes I have on vinyl.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have some ideas about like the shows that are probably going to make a list for you?
Probably. I haven't spent too much time thinking about the shows. I definitely have a list of movies.
Oh, sure.
That I kind of build as I go through the year.
Yeah.
Like I've had kind of a top 3 for a while now, I'd be surprised if anything cracks the top 3. Although I did just see The Holdovers last weekend, and that movie was really good, and it was really nice to have another like Christmas movie that isn't just like, hey, we're Hallmark and we're shitting these out because we don't care about anything.
Sure.
So it was nice to have like an actual Christmas movie that like gave a shit about anything.
Sure. Fair. Yeah. Yeah.
Paul Giamatti, holy smoke, what a great role, like what performance. So
I love that guy. Yeah, that guy's great.
yeah, you should see The Holdovers. It's good.
Yeah, I think I will. He's kind of the only thing that drew me to it. But I mean, I think that's probably enough, honestly.
Yeah. Well, the review scores were also like out of the park for it. So, what am I saying? This weekend we're gonna go see the new Hunger Games and Next Goal Wins, which I'm looking forward to that one quite a bit. Although the early reviews are not great for it, so we'll see.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Did you see the Marvels? You did, right?
I did. Yeah, I saw that last weekend as well. Yes.
Is that any good?
I had fun with it.
Okay.
It was pretty like run of the mill Marvel. There's if anyone has seen it, that cat scene is very funny.
Okay.
And much like every Marvel movie, the villain is totally forgettable. But yeah, I had fun with those characters. Miss Marvel, I forget the actress's name, the girl from Miss Marvel. She's great as you'd expect.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I had a positive time.
Okay.
That also might have been, I kind of went in with low expectations because everyone was just shitting on it.
Yeah. I haven't really seen many people talk about it in general, which is why I was kind of stoked to see that you saw it, and I made a mental note to ask you about it.
I heard it didn't like perform very well in the box office, and I think because of that, Marvel like pushed back more of its movies. So for like the first time in a long time, next year we only get one single Marvel movie, and that's Deadpool 3.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, the Ms. Marvel, the TV show, was fucking shit. So, like, I understand why people weren't clamoring for it. I thought Captain Marvel was okay, but people kind of shat on that too when that came out.
I liked both of them. I kind of liked the first half of Miss Marvel, and I kind of got less interested as it went on.
Sure.
But I really enjoyed the character and the actress who plays it. She's
great,
quite enjoyable. So
yeah.
you get more of that for sure.
Yeah. Cool.
But before we get into the podcast, I'll tell you about my day trying to pre-order or order the Steam Deck OLED this morning.
Yeah, apparently you had a kind of a rough time, huh?
Yeah, which you would because you would think like they when did the Steam Deck come out? 2 years ago. 2 years ago, right?
2021. Yeah, probably. That sounds about right.
I mean that's when I got mine. Did I do it? No, I got mine last year. Hang on. Okay. I got mine last year, but I got mine as part of late. I can't remember when they first went live. Anyway, they're saying came out in 2022, but announced in 2021. Okay. So about last year. And that was a complete clusterfuck when that when those launched and everyone was trying to get it and you got into like, I'm part of Q3. I'm part of tier 4. Blah, blah. So you would think after that, they're like, all right, well, we know how to do this. No, it seems like they didn't learn anything because the website was completely broken.
Man.
That was the first kind of like, how is this happening again? Like you already went through this once. Like the excitement for this console. Like, okay. Anyway. So I was there. I wanted to get the limited edition OLED one. I'm selling my old one to a friend. I want to get like the high end. I might as well get the limited one with the fancy colors and translucent design.
Mm-hmm.
First off, I'm there. I'm like, click order. Let's do it. Site immediately breaks. Sorry, something went wrong. Error. Little fun emoji guy looking sad. Okay, well that's great. So I'm hitting back. I'm hitting refresh. I'm trying to click it again. They're like, all right, we got it in your cart. All right, proceed to purchase. Broken. Site broken.
Of course.
So it's just, all right, let's just keep running this loop. Get through it. Oh, put in your payment stuff. Happily. Nope, the thing in your cart is sold out. Nice. What? It's been like 7 minutes, and I was here like, how? Really? It says it's out of stock. Oh, wait, now it says it's back in stock? Nope, kidding. It says it's out of stock. Nope, it is back in stock. Run that loop. with the like broken website loops. Now we got 2 issues going constantly as I'm trying to get through this.
Sounds fun.
I'm going through the payment method, stuff going like, I don't know, it's erroring out, it's logging me out, which I'm assuming is their attempt to dissuade me.
It's probably them
So
restarting servers or something.
So now we got broken website, out of stock,
right,
logging me out that I have to continuously deal with as I'm going through this loop. What was the next thing that happened? Oh, you've tried checking out too many times. You should hold off for a while. Yeah, guess whose fault that was? I didn't want to do this too many times. This is your problem. So,
sure.
So now throw that into the mix. Now we got 4 concurrent issues that I'm continuously butting my head against as we go through this. I have to assume when near the end, it accepted it, because then my bank texts me saying, "Hey, we thought we saw like kind of a fraud alert. So we went ahead and blocked this for you. But if it was you, just respond yes, and then you can try again." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I use this card all the time. This is not the first time I've spent this much money on the card. I literally used this card last year to buy a Steam Deck. So you are completely familiar with this storefront." And they blocked it. It was 45 minutes of me going in these circles. Every 10 seconds, one of these errors would pop up for 45 minutes. I eventually got one.
Nice. When are they shipping? Like, did it tell you when to expect it?
So that was another thing. When I first started it, it was like ships 1 to 2 weeks, or estimated delivery 1 to 2 weeks. And then sometimes it would turn into 2 to 4 weeks. And then sometimes it would turn into out of stock. Then sometimes it would turn into 1 to 2 weeks. But then other times it would turn into, you've been logged out. So as far as I'm concerned, I have literally no idea when this is showing up.
So it's going to show up at some point, but who knows when.
What I'm praying for is it shows up before I go to Canada for the holidays.
Yeah.
Which I leave on the like 4-week mark. So unless they take as long as they threatened, like the maximum time, I should get it before I go up north. So I'm crossing my fingers. But the lesson I learned today is that Valve doesn't give a shit. So who knows?
Weird. It's weird that there would be that many issues.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
mainly because it's not their first rodeo with this exact thing.
No.
So
it's not they've sold lots of products before, and 1 year ago they did this.
Yeah.
And I would have had to assume last year there was a bigger number of people clamoring for it.
Oh,
whereas
surely.
Now the only people who are probably clamoring for it are like people who don't have a Steam Deck, and then the people who have a sickness like I do.
Right.
Which is a lot smaller than everyone who doesn't have a Steam Deck. So you would think that like they would have figured this out. I don't know. My bet is when the next, because they've said, this is not the Steam Deck 2. We are working on the Steam Deck 2, but that's a few years out. I'm sure that when the Steam Deck 2 does come out, it'll be exactly the same.
Yeah. Probably.
I have no faith that they're going to learn a lesson.
Yeah, it's too bad.
I'm looking forward to getting that thing eventually.
Well, at least it's done. At least it's behind you. You did it.
It is done. That's true. This is the top down perspective. It's November 16th. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
And what have you been playing, Paul?
The big one is Risk of Rain Returns came out literally last week while we were doing, well, not while we were doing the podcast, but the day of TDP last week. So I played that basically all weekend.
I didn't know this until you mentioned it after the show, and I almost fell out of my chair. I had completely forgotten this game existed.
Yeah. That thing is cool. That thing is very good. So first of all, it's Risk of Rain again, and like with updated graphics and a mode where you can like zoom in a little bit more so that like it looks more like a normal. It actually starts defaulted zoomed in like twice as close.
What really? Okay, I should preface this. I played one run.
Yeah.
It's just not on my list because I haven't played like a ton of it, but I did play one run. By default, it seems very zoomed out.
Yeah, until you zoom out fully, and then it's like, holy shit, you
Oh,
can't
man.
see this.
Yeah, I don't think I would do that. Like, I'm playing it on the Steam Deck, and I was really
Oh
happy
yeah,
that they had like a, hey, we can turn all the like text size up a bit for you,
yeah,
which was very nice.
yeah. So just starting off, that is the same game again, which is great. I love it. New sprites, and I think they reworked the music and like everything's been reworked so that it's more modernized, but it's the exact same layouts of stuff and whatnot.
I did hear that they kind of remixed the music.
Yeah,
It's hard for me to tell because it's been a while since I listened to that music.
yeah,
But I just someone on a different podcast did mention the music has been updated. Because that music's great. So
yeah,
new versions of those songs is awesome.
yeah.
My initial thoughts are, because Vampire Survivor, we now live in a post Vampire Survivors world,
True. Yeah,
which this game you could, there's similarities.
yeah,
You could see the similarities of like, I am a death machine that is constantly attacking, and you're going to just keep putting more and more enemies on screen,
right.
right? That is the same for both games.
Yep.
So when I went in and I played Risk Green Returns, I was immediately like, I wish all of my attack buttons were just going off nonstop, because that's all I'm doing. That's all I've
Automatically.
ever done.
Yeah.
The only thing I really need to time is the dodge, if my character has a dodge.
Yeah, they all have something that could be quote unquote construed as a dodge, but like they're different. They're like a movement effect, I guess is more correct. But
Like, I almost wish there was a thing like, hey, can I just turn on like auto attack? Because
mm.
I don't need to just keep hitting these buttons every 5 seconds forever. I want to be attacking always.
So one thing I found interesting is that you can attack faster than normal from the first game if you like keep hammering the button quickly rather than hold it like you used to for like a lot of the I think the Marine and the Bandit, you can like tap it quicker than but it used to be.
Okay.
Which is cool. But like you're not going to do that all the time, obviously, because that's insane and you're going to wear your shit out. But and yeah, I forgot that it is a roguelite thing again, where when you don't have everything unlocked, it's going to take you a while to get those runs that feel overpowered, because you don't, some items you just don't have unlocked yet that are like some of the best items in the game. It's great being back in there. The big cool thing that they added is that they added kind of like alternate attacks or alternate skills for each character. And to get those, they added a challenge mode where you have to use that skill in a challenge room sort of thing to really hammer home how to use it. And that I thought was just super cool. For example, one of the ones that they added for the Huntress is that it's a teleport arrow. She can shoot. It goes into like almost like a old tank game where it just kind of thing pops up, that like a radial menu thing where an arrow is pointing and just goes up and down, and then, or like a golf game, and where you let it go, that's where she'll shoot the arrow, and as soon as it hits something, you'll automatically teleport right there. So they built out a whole level for you to just like teleport around to like learn how to use that thing properly. And then there's like, you can like gold star it essentially by doing it under a certain time. There's abilities. The bandit gets like a stun grenade. So there is the level to like learn how to use that, or to unlock that, is you have to steal a bunch of money that's around the level. You only have like 2 hits you can take from anything. And there's just like a shitload of enemies in crappy locations that you have to learn like where to throw this stun grenade to like sneak past them and stuff. It's really, really cool. Like, it's a really good idea.
That's cool.
Some of those gold
I didn't
know
about
insane.
that. And they didn't mention anything like that when I did the like early demo back in, what was that? Must have been June for GDC.
I wonder if it wasn't ready yet or something, because I think that's one of the selling points. That's a lot of new content.
Yeah, maybe. Because honestly, like when they just said like kind of we're like updating everything and we're putting co-op that works, that was like enough for me. That was like Overcooked 1 to Overcooked 2. It's like, hey, it's not that different,
Yeah,
but now there's online, and it's like, okay, you sold. Like, thank you for taking one of my favorite games and making it playable online now.
totally. Yeah. I have yet to try the online stuff, but I
Same.
will definitely say that those like challenges and stuff is so cool. Being like playing a bunch of levels with those characters and skills that are completely different than you will ever play that game normally, because it's like teaching you a certain mechanic, is really cool. I thought it was neat.
Also, like launch, like it was a lot cheaper than I expected. It's $15, and then
Yeah.
there's like launch sales,
Yep.
so it's even cheaper. Like that was awesome to see because I could have easily seen them going 20.
Yep. That game had its hooks in me pretty hard for a couple days. I didn't want to stop playing it. I love that game, and it was nice to kind of be back in that mode. And also, it reminded me, for people who might not know, is when we played that game like every night for a while, or like a co-op thing.
Yeah, when I first moved here, yeah.
That was if I remember, we had to like use Hamachi to like log into each other's computer to start a session, and it was janky as shit, and like it was some old school stuff going on there. A daily challenge we did every day.
Yeah, no, and it seems like a lot of people did that because I even remember talking to the devs of like, yeah, everyone had to do like weird workarounds, and they name drop Hamachi, and I remember
Yeah.
that thing like would not get off my computer no matter how many times I tried to uninstall it, which
Yeah.
I think that alone kind of tells you how enjoyable using that software was.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely something. Uh, it's cool. It was just a really nice blast from the past, and I'm obviously gonna keep playing it, but that's a great podcast game, or just like hanging out. I have an hour to kill before something, I'd get a run in or whatever. Besides that, I've been still playing Alan Wake 2. I'm at the end, as in I can't go any further with Alan. It's forcing me to play Saga, and Saga is at the point of no return. So I'm just going to collect the last couple things that I'm missing. I looked up where they are. I'm going to go get them, and then I'm going to finish that game next session.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this weekend, I finished up some big games. I finished up Alan Wake 2. That's done, which is nice. I can finally get back to some stuff I had put aside.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing lots of PlayStation hardware review video coverage stuff. So I went and platinumed Spider-Man 2.
Okay. Yep.
Which I think is the first time I've platinumed a game ever.
Okay.
So that was fun.
Sure.
But yeah, I couldn't talk about it last week, but I used the PlayStation Portal quite a bit.
Oh, right. You couldn't, could you? Because the Monday was the embargo.
Monday was the embargo.
Yeah. Sure. So, what are your thoughts on that thing?
Pretty much, like, I had so much early hands-on time with it. There wasn't anything really that surprising to it. It is such a niche little device. I don't really know who it's for.
Right.
It's it's for people who want to play in a different room, but for one reason or another, they refuse to use like the free options that they have available to them already.
Right.
And I talk about that in my video because remote play is not a new feature. You can do this on your computer, you can do this on your tablets, your phone, and if you want the portal, it means you're going to need a PlayStation already, so you have the controller.
Yeah.
So you have to. It's such a weirdly niche device.
Yeah.
But on the other side though of it, like hardware wise, it's really nice. That screen is really nice. It's obviously like the controller is the exact same, so it looks nice. On my internet, it ran like 99% totally normal. So like it is a cool device. It's a hard sell, I think, for most people.
Yeah.
So it's like hard to recommend it because
Sure.
there are so many other ways you can get 99% of the experience for free, basically.
I would be interested to see like NPD numbers to see how many people buy that thing at the end of the year. I'm just interested in like what the market for something like that is.
Yeah, and I mean, like, one of the questions, like, does PlayStation support it? And because it doesn't have like a library of games, they don't really have to support it. They don't really have to
Right.
do anything with it for it to like get better or worse. You just keep putting games on PlayStation 5 and you can play them with your Portal.
Just firmware
I'd be
updates at most. Yeah.
I'd be curious if they added more functionality. There was a few things I learned after my video had gone live that I just hadn't tried out, which were kind of confused or curious to me. I guess you can't access any of your media apps when you're using it.
Wait,
Um,
is that a DHCP thing? Because I know they're
I
kind
don't
of.
know.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't actually try it because I don't have any like videos downloaded on my
Sure.
PlayStation 5, and I'm not logged into like Netflix on there. That was nothing. You can't
Right.
use your Netflix account on it. Um,
Hmm.
but and we talked about this when it was first announced. Like even though PlayStation has cloud streaming services, and this is connected to the internet, you can't access those games.
Right. Yeah.
Another one I learned about afterwards that I just never had tried during the weekend I was reviewing it is you can't. A lot of Wi-Fi networks will require a web browser for you to like hit accept on their like terms of service before they will actually give you
Yeah.
the internet. This
Yeah.
has no way of you selecting that. So if you're trying to connect to those networks, which will be rare, like I can't imagine many people are going to take this outside their home to connect to their PlayStation 5, but it is doable. And I tested it out with just in the park, like hotspotting off my phone. That did work. Um,
I do have a weird
but
anecdote
yeah,
actually, now that I think about it. So a guy I work with, he had to go Spider-Man came out. He had to go for training somewhere, and he was really considering getting one of these so that he could just bring his PlayStation, hook it up in the hotel room and just play without having to like bring all the hook-ins and stuff.
monitor.
Yeah. So he was like, I'm gonna try the remote play app and stuff first, but if like that doesn't work good enough, maybe I'll just pick one of those up. I was like, okay, man.
Well, the thing is, if the remote play app is not working well for you,
This won't.
the Portal will not work as well for you because it's the same thing.
Right.
It's the same tech, and like so, that's the weird thing. It's like this thing is not better at remote playing. It connects immediately and like will get you playing faster,
Right.
but it's faster than you hitting like the app on your phone and waiting for that to connect. Like we're talking about a couple seconds here.
Right.
It's not like it's a better at remote playing. It doesn't have any like extra stuff in it to do that. So
I just love this use case of like somebody I actually know in real life was just like, maybe I'll just bring the PlayStation and hook it in and then like use remote play, or like the exact thing that this would probably be nice for if I guess you didn't have the remote play option, which you do already. But yeah, weird.
they would also need like an internet connection because this thing cannot the Portal cannot connect directly to the PlayStation.
That
It
is
has to
so
go
weird
through
to
the
me.
router and back. So like it's not a Wii. It's not working the way the
Yeah,
Wii U did,
true.
where it was like one to one. You connected right to the device, which that led to issues like I can't take it very far because
Yeah.
the signal strength is not great. I can't go through walls very well, stuff like that.
That would be
But it
bad
doesn't even
then
have that
in
as
the
a
hotel, because hotel Wi-Fi is fucking terrible as it is.
yeah.
Man.
And hopefully that hotel has the way to connect to the internet, which without a web browser, your phone you could do that,
Right,
but
right.
the Portal can't. I could see them adding
Wow.
that going forward,
Yeah.
maybe, but I really don't know. It is an odd device.
This is
I really
baffling.
think it's gonna kind of. I feel like it's gonna be very similar to the PS Vita TV. The Vita TV, I guess, was the full name of it,
Uh-huh.
which was another like very niche thing of like, do you want to play your Vita games on the TV? Which, you know, probably not.
That had the
But
niche capability though, where that's like the way a lot of speedrunners and streamers got game capture for like videos of Vita games.
sure,
So that
okay,
had
on
like
Vita, yeah,
that had a use case for a specific set of people at least.
yeah. Well, I mean, if we're trying to find a use case, the Portal has a use case. Like, I'm not saying it's useless. I'm
It
definitely not
sounds
saying
useless, but yeah,
that.
I get what you mean.
I mean, like, speaking for me personally, like I use my Steam Deck remote playing my Xbox, my PlayStation in bed
Yeah.
all the time.
Hmm.
So I will get use out of this. But I would I have bought this for myself?
Right. That's
I'm
the
sick,
thing.
so probably. And in fact, I did have one ordered until Sony was like, "Hey, we're gonna hook you up." But
You actually have a
I'm sick.
problem. I didn't
Yeah.
realize.
But again, this like with the Steam Deck,
Yeah.
I I can already do that. I was already doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna have to make that decision for yourself. The Steam Deck is also, $400, whatever model you get. So it's a
Yeah.
lot more expensive,
Like,
but it can also do a lot more than the Portal. I think one of my takeaways at the end of it was this device hardware wise is so nice.
uh-huh.
It just makes me wish like that it had internal storage that I could put
Yeah.
games on this. And I'm sure it's a lot harder because like the PS5 is huge.
Yeah.
There's probably no way right now in 2023 that they can shrink that down to fit on there. Like even look at the Steam Deck. That thing is bulky. In fact, it's the same size as the Portal. Um, but it's just like this would be so cool if I was just playing offline Spider-Man 2.
Sure. Yeah. 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 Cool. I just wanted to ask you quickly, Alan Wake 2, the ending stick it for you? Are you happy with the way it ended? Obviously no spoilers. But...
I'm very happy with the way it ended.
Okay.
I'm right down to like the last line. I was like, fuck you guys.
Okay. Yeah. I have a theory where they're going, but we'll see. Like obviously I have no idea for sure, but
Um and then some quick hits while we're talking about the Steam Deck. I played through. I played a chunk of Slay the Princess. I've
okay.
seen credits. I have a feeling I've seen maybe 10% of that game.
Okay. There's no okay. Which version of the princess did you get? I don't know if there's even a way to talk about
Tons
it.
of them. I got tons of them.
You got tons of them? Okay.
Well, because
I don't even know how you talk about
my,
this game, honestly, without like specifically saying what path you took. But like, yeah.
So one thing I did appreciate as someone who has played a lot of like loop games
Yeah.
is this one does not allow you to repeat stuff. And if you even try to go down the exact same like flow chart of options,
yeah,
it will just block. It'll something different will happen.
Yeah.
So you will see new stuff every single time, which is great.
And it'll block you out. You can actually even put on an accessibility option to be like, just don't even show me the grayed out options that I can, which I didn't do, but you could.
It doesn't have the best Steam Deck support. Just anytime where they give you like a whole bunch of options to scroll through,
yeah,
that just kind of breaks a bit, which is weird.
Sure.
Hopefully there's an update coming for that. It's still playable. You can kind of muscle your way through those. But yeah, it was really nice where every time, because a lot of times I was like, I don't want to just keep doing the same thing over and over again, but like I want to see what was going to happen. Yeah, it even goes out of its way to tell you you're going to see new stuff every time. So that was definitely nice.
I know a way.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything. So
I know a way I can word it. Did you completely like feed the vessel? Like,
yeah, and that gets you.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Credits, right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Man, that game goes some weird places. It's really cool.
And like I said, like with the number of achievements, I think I've only seen less than 10% of that game.
Yeah, like I said, I got 14 out of 97 or something. Like,
yeah, I think I'm probably somewhere around that. Have you gotten credits more than once?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so if I was doing like another run, does anything change that much other than just
you can get like can get a different version of the princess literally every time if you choose different options.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's always going to be kind of the same premise going forward.
I think so. I can't even tell you definitively.
Goal of
yeah.
Well, you said you gotten credits twice.
Yeah, so there is one I've gotten end credits a couple times. There is one ending that I'm not even counting also, which is like literally just
Oh.
do what the narrator tells you the whole time.
I mean, I tried doing that and it still wasn't successful a lot
You
of the time.
literally just get a screen that says play it properly. Like the end, but this isn't like actually the end. Like it's like, yeah, okay.
Again, there was definitely times where I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try and do everything I said, and it did not work out well for me.
Yeah. So what leads me to believe also that there is a lot of shit in there is I specifically got like a version of the princess that when I got an achievement for it, it was like this version half, like half whatever, or no, full, because I think you can also bring her to the vessel when before she fully transforms into like the final thing that I saw. So I think you can even bring those versions like before they're like on the last day, if that makes it, because you have like the 3 days or whatever, the 3 chapters, and like
Okay, we're getting pretty spoilery.
it's
So we
crazy.
shouldn't talk too much. That does lead to my next question though: is how many how many chapters have you gotten to? Because it was usually two. One time I got to three. Is there a chapter four ever that you've seen?
So as far as I can tell, no, because chapter 4 will bring you to like the final area, or like chapter 3 always ends with you kind of blacking out into the next area or whatever, the final
Okay.
area. As far as I can tell. But yeah, chapter 3 is kind of like
Yes.
the evolved state almost
It's a
every
weird
time.
game.
Yeah, it's
Weird game,
really
man.
great. It's really good.
Okay, last game I played through all of Thirsty Suitors this week.
How long is that?
Um,
I was looking into it.
Probably like 5 or 6 hours.
Oh, okay. Short-ish.
Thematically, this is, or I guess I should say, plot-wise, it's very Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
You are Jala, a mid-20s woman returning to her kind of small town home in like the Pacific Northwest um, after going through a breakup, and then like six of your exes all want to fight you
Right.
because when you were living here, you were kind of toxic and you had just a bunch of like bad relationships with these six people, so you have to fight all of them.
Sure.
I think the writing is really good. I think it's really funny. It has a really great visual style. There's kind of a lot going on. So, like, it's an RPG, like combat is turn-based RPGs. There's also like your mode of traversal is skateboarding.
Mhm.
So there's a whole skateboard mechanic where you can like grind on everything and you're doing tricks and stunts. And there's a skate park that you go to pretty frequently if you want to just like do skate challenges. I didn't do a ton of the skate challenges. I just wanted to kind of get through the story, and the story mentions the skating is optional, so I was happy to see that.
Mhm.
But I think the part that really shines is the writing. Um, the conflicts you're having with these exes. It's all about kind of like reconciling with them, coming to like better terms. So you're hearing a lot about like what you did to them, what their lives are like, and then you guys are like making up. Then there's a whole kind of subplot of you with your family. Your mom's Indian, your dad's from Sri Lanka, and so there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there about being like kind of an immigrant family and an overbearing grandma. That's actually one of the really funny parts is the way they handle random encounters in this game. Are you can choose when to do them. You'll see like a package on like kind of the overworld, and it'll say grift or gift,
Okay.
and then it's just like a roll of the dice whether you get like an item or you get a battle. And those encounters, they're all suitors that your grandma has set up to come find you to try and date you.
Okay.
Um, so that's pretty funny. And yeah, so the combat kind of works like you are inflicting a mood on these people, whether it's like you're making them shocked, you're making them angry, you're making them thirsty, and then you can do special attacks that'll do more damage and stuff like that. So it's on pretty much everything. It's on Game Pass. That's how I played
Yeah.
through it. I would give it a look. It's a pretty fun, enjoyable time for sure. It's funny, and yeah, I think the writing is pretty enjoyable.
Cool.
All right, and that's all you played, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's do some news. As always, because it's 2023, let's start with the layoffs of the week.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw this earlier today, actually.
Amazon Games laid off 180 employees, which is
Yep.
a ton of people. What's sad is like these are still happening so close to the holidays now, which is just like extra devastating, I'm sure, for these families.
Sure. Yeah.
To kind of break it down, because it just says Amazon's game division. This article here I'm reading on Aftermath is let's see. This includes the entirety of Crown Channel, an Amazon-based Twitch channel, and the game growth team, with a larger goal of refocusing efforts around Prime gaming. So that's definitely a bummer over there. But hey, it doesn't stop right there, because 505 Games, specifically, I guess it's their parent company, which is called Digital Bros. I mean, I'm familiar with 505, but I didn't know Digital Bros.
I didn't either.
They laid off 30% of their workforce.
Yeah, theirs is even grosser too, where they're just like, yeah, people don't want to buy new games, so we're just downsizing to sequels. It's like, what do you mean? What does that even mean?
Like here, the headline, I'll just read it. 505 Games parent company lays off 30% of its workforce, says gamers really only want sequels, so that's what it's going to make.
Yep. So
which, like,
awesome.
That's just like, I know that's true, and it's just such a bummer.
Yeah, it really sucks.
I think I was seeing a headline recently of some NDP numbers, and it was like, they're like the top selling games, like the Assassin's Creed Mirage one, which I understand was kind of received kind of middling, is like the third best selling game this year or something like that. Or maybe it was last month, something. Pretty crazy. 505 Games. So sorry, I'll read this next part. Digital Bros isn't a particularly well-known name in the video game world, but it owns a number of studios you may be familiar with. 505 Games is the biggest name of the bunch, but it also has DR Studios, Kuno Simulazioni. I have not heard of that. Avant Garden, Nesting Games, Supernova Games, Infinity Plus, and In-Game Studios. And 505 Games have the publishing rights to a number of big titles such as Death Stranding, Control, Ghost Runner, Bloodstained: Ritual of the Night. Also a major shareholder in the Payday studio Starbreeze.
Yeah. Wow, that sucks.
So just keeps going.
Yep. Update the videogamelayoffs.com.
Yep, exactly. All right, on some more positive news. Netflix announced that Hades is coming to the platform next year.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah.
Which,
like the actual
that's great
game.
For them. Yeah. Netflix, once again, I think someone had it worded it nicely, is like the best free game service that no one plays.
Yeah. I don't even have Netflix anymore.
No, I'm right there with you. But I'm just saying, if you do, there's some pretty good games on there.
Yeah.
And then Baldur's Gate 3, it seems like the Xbox version is pretty imminent. Larian came out and tweeted they're going to have more news on Baldur's Gate soon, and the game is on track for a December release. We'll see you at the Game Awards for the world premiere of the exact release date.
Yeah, they also announced their physical edition on Xbox, PlayStation,
the deluxe
and PC.
One, right?
Yeah. It's pretty cool looking. Lots of stuff in there. For anybody wondering, you get the discs, obviously, soundtrack on 3 CDs, a cloth world map, 2 fabric patches, 32 stickers, and a poster.
Give the price of that? I think I heard it was a good deal.
Let me see if I can find it on here.
Oh, someone just said in the chat, $80.
Yeah, $10 more than the base
crazy.
game. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, maybe I'll
just get that one, because I want the Xbox version.
You should get that.
And it's like, well, I might as well get that. It's $10 more. Yeah.
You got a bunch of stickers. Put them on your water bottle, along with your top-down perspective Patreon one. Join now if you don't have one.
Yeah, that's true. You can still do that. Okay, and then the Game Award nominees came out, so we should go through these, make some predictions.
Sure. I already voted for all of mine, so like the ones I want. But we'll talk about what I think will actually win, because I didn't vote for ones that I think will win necessarily.
Okay, I never vote, so I just
You're
look
part
at
of
the
the
nominees
problem.
and then talk. talk about it on the site. Isn't it like that? Like the community votes, they're
They're
only
worth
like
nothing.
10% of it.
Yeah, they're worth like nothing. But I don't know. I like voting.
I say we start at the bottom and work our way to the top.
Oh shit. Okay, hold on. I'm in the thing already, so I gotta nominees, view all categories. Can we skip everything to most anticipated game? Like not do the esports or content creator of the year? Because I don't care about any of those. Like we'll go from most anticipated up.
That's good because I was just gonna guess based on what their names are. So yeah, that works with me. Most anticipated game.
So,
okay, so we have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hades 2, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Star Wars Outlaws, and Tekken 8.
This is a strong lineup.
Great looking list. Yeah, this like Tekken 8's not really for me, but like I'm excited for all of these games.
Yeah, for sure. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth probably takes it though, right? Because that fan base is crazy.
That fan base is crazy. I mean, Star Wars Outlaws looks so good, and I'm personally very excited for Hades. People do love Hades.
True. Yeah, it's not a secret why those two are the first two listed.
Yeah, I do think Final Fantasy takes it. That would be my prediction.
I also, yeah. I'm keeping track of these as well. So. Okay. So, oh wait, this is previous now, right? Best adaptation. We have Castlevania Nocturne, Gran Turismo, The Last of Us, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and Twisted Metal.
I feel like this has to be Last of Us.
So I feel the same way, but I think that Mario Bros. Movie is bigger than we both know. But
Jeff Keighley loves bringing Troy Baker out on stage.
Sure.
And Neil Druckmann out on stage. Like he's got friends there.
Yeah. What I'm saying though is that stupid Peaches song from that movie, which is a one-off, just like supposed to be funny Jack Black joke, was the biggest fucking thing in TikTok for like a month, and I don't understand why, so I think that's maybe gonna win.
Over under on is there gonna be a performance?
From Jack Black doing Peaches?
Absolutely, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, maybe.
That's absolutely gonna happen.
Yeah.
I bet I think it's a shoo-in. What I think should happen, I don't want to spoil much, Alan Wake 2. But
yeah.
But that would
get the old gods of Asgard in there. Bring them back. Yeah.
That'd be awesome. That'd be so great.
It would be very fantastic. I mean,
it's one of these two for sure.
Okay, what do you want to say? I'll take the other one because I agree with you. I think it's one of these.
I think Last of Us gets it.
Okay, I'll say Mario then. That way at least one of us will be right. Okay. Next, we have the best multiplayer. Next one is
such a weird category.
This is a weird one, yeah.
So best multiplayer, if people didn't hear that, it's Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Party Animals, Street Fighter 6, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
So the Street Fighter one is weird because it's like, you're technically right, but then every fighting game should be on, like, could be a contender.
This makes me think, because like when we get to the fighting game category, it's like, well, clearly Street Fighter's going to win because the other ones aren't good in multiplayer, apparently, as far as you're concerned.
Wait, I don't actually remember. Is Party Animals under best fighting game? Because maybe that'll win.
I don't know. I haven't looked at these categories before, so I don't actually know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know. Part of me is like, if Baldur's Gate is in the category, it wins the category for this entire show.
Yeah, I personally voted for Diablo 4 because it makes that game so much funner for me. But I think it's probably Baldur's Gate. I could see Party Animals, and I will throw my chair if Super Mario Bros. Wonder wins this. But who knows? Maybe it does.
I'm going to go Baldur's Gate 3.
I'm also going to go Baldur's Gate. Okay. Next up, best sports/racing game. We have EA Sports FC 24, which is their soccer game for people maybe not in the know or don't remember. F1 23. Yeah. Forza Motorsport, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged, and the Crew Motorfest. which I didn't even remember came out this year.
Has a sports game ever won this category?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. It's probably going to be Forza Motorsport.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Okay.
Okay, best sim strategy. Oh, this is another weird category.
Yeah.
Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, City Skylines 2, Company of Heroes 3, Fire Emblem Engage, and Pikmin 4.
This is so weird.
I mean, Fire Emblem Engage, that was a good Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm. Enough to win. Was it the best sim / strategy
I don't
game?
even like. It's so weird comparing these games. Like,
It is.
these are such different games. Like, I guess Advance Wars and Fire Emblem are pretty similar, but like that's it.
I'm gonna go Advance Wars because that's what I voted for, because that's kind of the one I played because of TDP Plus. RIP.
I'm gonna go City Skylines 2.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay. Best family game. We have Disney Illusion Island, Party Animals, Pikmin 4, Sonic Superstars, and Super Mario Brothers Wonder. I think it's Mario. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm happy to see Disney Illusion Island getting some love because I do think that's a cool game. But
yeah,
again, it's Mario.
Like, I'm wondering how much people loved Party Animals, because from what I remember, like, not to spoil anything or whatever, I think it's on a lot of these nominations. So people apparently love that thing. Okay. Who knows?
I've had it downloaded, but because it's on Game Pass, I just hadn't had time to get to it yet.
Right.
Best fighting game: God of Rock, Mortal Kombat 1, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, Pocket Bravery, and Street Fighter 6. Well, clearly we know it has to be Street Fighter because that's the only one worthy of being a good multiplayer game.
Of course. It's also the one I think will win, even though I voted for Mortal Kombat because I like Mortal Kombat games more personally, but not for the same reasons I think fighting game people do.
Yeah.
All right, best RPG. This one broke my mind because, like, for the listeners at home, when I go through this, every one of these is a completely different version of RPG that all are like, well, do you like the turn-based or do you like this? That? So the nominees are Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Lies of P, Sea of Stars, and Starfield. It's like, yeah, those are all great. Those are all great games. What's your flavor of RPG?
I could see the argument for like RPG for like all of these. Lies of P seems like a bit of an outlier for me, but I guess specifically Final Fantasy 16 is like pretty similar in genre at this point with Lies of P.
Yeah. I'm just writing down for me Baldur's Gate 3.
With that all said, Baldur's Gate 3 takes it. Like
okay, so we're in agreement. But it's like, do you like D&D? Do you like Devil May Cry? Like, what other game do you like? Because we have an RPG for you in this category.
All right, this next category is rough. This is going to be a hard one. This is best action adventure. It's Alan Wake 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and Tears of the Kingdom. So I don't know, man.
For me, it's between Spider-Man and Tears of the Kingdom. I think we'll win this one, and I think Spider-Man edges it out, personally. But I also didn't play Jedi Survivor, so I have literally no
I really
like
Jedi Survivor quite a bit. I like a lot of these games. Like in fact, I really like a lot of these games. So one of my thoughts going into the Game Awards here is every time Alan Wake 2 shows up, I like that game a whole bunch.
Yeah.
It did a lot of very cool things, but I just don't know how it's going to like rank compared to everything.
It's hard. Somebody actually tweeted about this where there's just like, the bad thing about Alan Wake getting so much talk is it's kind of not for normies. Like, people might get into it and be like, people are talking this thing up, but it is a fucking weird ass game that if you're not in, you might not like it.
That's true. And like when I'm talking to like my normie friends, they're like, I've never even heard of Alan Wake.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Right? Exactly.
In fact, one of them thought I was saying Alan Wick the whole time, so they were thinking about the John Wick movies when I would talk to them about this.
Yo, there
Like-
are some scenes where he is definitely Alan Wick or a version of it.
But I know, like, amongst like the review, like, it got great review scores, and amongst critics, like, it was like a darling.
Yeah.
But it just feels like such a dark horse that I don't know how to like peg up against what people are gonna say. So
Personally, for
unfortunately, I have a
this,
feeling Alan Wake 2 is not gonna come away with much.
well, for this specifically, I think the action adventure part, it's not gonna win this one because that's not what that game excels at personally. Also, I would kind of say the same about Resident Evil 4, but somebody in chat made a good point. 4 out of 5 of these are Game of the Year nominations, so sorry, Jedi Survivor. Unless this is like their nod to it, which it could be.
I think the one thing you could say against Spider-Man is that it is very similar to the last one, which is why I think I would give it to Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's between those anyways.
I do think it is between those two.
Yeah. Okay. Best action game. Which is a little bit different. Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. Dead Island 2, Ghost Runner 2, Hi-Fi Rush, and Remnant 2.
I'm actually surprised Lies of P is not in this category.
Yeah, I could see it in this category, considering they literally say best game in action genre focused on combat. So yeah,
I'm kind of surprised. One thing I was seeing some people saying about Lies of P is like, if it was the exact same game but it had like the From Software as the developer, like nothing is different. The developer is just a ship, like the name is just From Software. Lies of P probably would just get way more attention and probably more recognition.
So yes, I definitely agree with you. The circles I run in, Lies of P is the most talked about game I've heard almost this year, because I follow a lot of people that are into Souls games and they're like, this is a Souls game and it's great. So like, yes, you're right.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. I've heard lots of great things. People really like how that turned out. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. It's one of the games I'm looking forward to getting back to now that I wrapped up some other stuff.
Yeah.
I pick Armored Core. Like, do you think Armored Core takes it just because it's FromSoft?
No, I think Armored Core takes it because of the ones I played. It's the best game on here. Hi-Fi Rush, I could see an argument for, just for how like novel it is.
Remnant 2 is very cool. All these other games are like a tier below in terms of like size and
for sure,
popular opinion. So yeah, I guess it is probably Armored Core.
Yeah, I do think the FromSoft title is going to help it a lot too. But Armored Core is sick. Like, that game is really good, so it deserves it either way. Best VR/AR, we have Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Humanity, Resident Evil Village VR mode, and Synapse.
And I think Horizon Call of the Mountain just takes it because of the name.
Okay. Horizon Call of the Mountain. I don't really have like a horse in this race. I chose Resident Evil Village VR mode because Big Lady in VR is hilarious. But I think Humanity might have like a weird, like, critics are like, yeah, that thing was really cool and different. So I'll go Humanity. Why not?
Okay. I don't know much about Synapse.
Yeah, I don't either.
Out of the other four, Call of the Mountain is the only one that can only be played in VR.
Sure. Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, I don't know about Synapse.
Best mobile game: Final Fantasy VII, Ever Crisis, Hello Kitty Island Adventure, Honkai Star Rail, Monster Hunter Now, and Terra Nil.
I think Honkai Star Rail takes it.
Yes, I agree. I heard really great things about Hello Kitty Island Adventure if you like Animal Crossing games.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's Honkai Star Rail for sure.
I can tell you Honkai Star Rail is incredible. That game is great, but I don't have the time to put into it, and I don't have the money I want to spend into it to like make that up.
Okay.
So, best debut indie game: Cocoon, Dredge, Pizza Tower, Venba, and Viewfinder. Strong list.
This is another strong list. There's a lot of games I love on this. I don't see Venba taking it.
I don't see Viewfinder taking it either, frankly.
I don't know. I could see a good one for Viewfinder.
I think it's Cocoon, like, for me, or Pizza comes down Tower. To.
I think it's Viewfinder or Pizza Tower.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I'm saying Pizza Tower either way. So,
if it was me, it like the one that I liked the most, it's Dredge.
Dredge is great.
I don't think. Yeah, I just got that DLC. I'm excited to play that DLC.
Is that out? I didn't realize that.
Just came out. Yes, it just came out. Yep.
I'm gonna play that this weekend.
Cocoon is also very cool. Pizza Tower definitely had like the biggest buzz around it, but I just know like Viewfinder was also pretty massive, at least in like the critic space. Like everyone was kind of talking about how cool that thing is.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna guess it's Pizza Tower probably.
Okay.
And now best independent game, right. which is similar. Cocoon, Dave the Diver, Dredge, Sea of Stars, and Viewfinder.
So there's been some drama on Twitter about Dave the Diver being on here because it was funded by one of the biggest game companies in the world, I guess. But
which is what?
It's the people Nexon, I think, that company that I think took okay. the Dark and Darker devs to court or whatever last year. I don't know. Anyways, there's been some people saying like Dave the Diver shouldn't be on here because it's bankrolled by large China companies or whatever. And apparently even their devs have been like, we're not.
I heard Dave the Diver is really cool. I still need to play that.
I've been told by everybody it's incredible, and I haven't played it. So best independent game
on Steam and Switch.
I'm going to give this to Dredge.
I'll play that on my new Steam Deck OLED.
Nice. I'm going to give it to Dredge because I want Dredge to win.
I don't think Dredge is getting anything, unfortunately.
Yeah. Probably not.
Yeah, this is a hard one, man. I really don't know where it's going to come down to it. I'm going to guess Viewfinder.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Okay, this next one's kind of weird. So next one is best community support, which is Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, and No Man's Sky. And it was interesting because these nominations came out at the beginning of this week, whereas last week Bungie just laid off all of their like community support people.
Also, they've been fighting with their community because people are calling them out on their bullshit, and they're like, "Derp, what?" So, like, no, I don't think it's Destiny 2. They're fucking idiots. I could see Baldur's Gate 3. They've been really, really community facing, but it's probably Final Fantasy because it always is, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does often seem to be Final Fantasy. Like, Cyberpunk obviously had their big update.
Yep, true.
And the DLC and the expansion. So that was kind of two things. Baldur's Gate was early access, so that had a lot of community support throughout that. And then they're still patching it.
Is No Man's Sky doing anything this year? Like, why are they here?
Yeah, they still been putting stuff out. I think at like the same clip as well.
Really? That's insane. Yeah. What else can you do to that thing?
And they're still free. Like, I think it's like they're on like update like 18 or something now. Something crazy.
I think it's Baldur's Gate, honestly.
Part of me is like, I want to say Final Fantasy 14 because they always win it.
Yep.
But Baldur's Gate 3 is probably going to win every category.
Yeah.
There's I don't know. That. I'll just do Final Fantasy 14. It's a safer bet.
Okay. And then similarly, we have the best ongoing, which is different but kind of similar. Game outstanding ongoing content or whatever. We have Apex Legends, Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy, Fortnite, and Genshin.
See, this is actually probably where my head was at for the last one, because to be honest, I don't know what the community support like in terms of like the communication is for like any of those games.
Right.
So, um,
I don't think 14 wins it this year because they finished on a big arc and they're just kind of like chilling right now, starting a new one. I know people are stoked for it, but they're not like full force in it this year.
I have no idea what Genshin has been up to. Part of me wants to think Fortnite.
Part of me thinks
When did
Fortnite
no
as
build
well.
mode come out? When did no build come out?
Was no build this year or last year? I don't remember.
It was last year. Okay. If it was this year, I would have definitely given it to Fortnite.
This year was OG, which brought a lot of people back to it, but
yeah,
I don't know. Cyberpunk
Fortnite.
has a argument here with their update kind of bringing back everything. My argument against it, for my personal reasons why I didn't vote for that, is because it doesn't feel like it's like ongoing support. This feels like kind of they released the thing that like it should have been when that game released. Like that patch is kind of what they promised originally. I guess I didn't play the new content yet, but now.
I think them like fixing everything and overhauling it by definition would be considered ongoing support.
Yeah.
They
rather than just leaving it to die or whatever.
Exactly, just leaving it and left it as what it is.
Which companies have definitely done in the past. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like look at Anthem. That thing never got fixed.
Yeah, what a bummer. This is actually kind of difficult. I'll say Cyberpunk.
I'm gonna give it to Fortnite though.
Okay.
Okay.
I was hoping that maybe you would say Fortnite because I want one of us to be right. Okay. The next one made me remember there's a game on here that I've been wanting to play for months now, and I need to play. Games for Impact. This is thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. We have A Space for the Unbound, Chance of Sonar, Goodbye Volcano High, Chia, Terra Nil, and Venba. I've been meaning to play Chance of Sonar since it came out. I think it's September. And I think that might be my game, well, like one of my games of the year if I play it, because it looks incredible.
I've been hearing extremely cool things. It's on like my wish list. I'm like waiting for a sale at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only. I haven't played Terra Nil, but I've played all the other ones except for those two. I don't know which one takes it though.
Yeah, I want Chance of Sonar to win, so I'm just going to say that because I have no idea otherwise.
I could see it. I've been hearing people talking about Chance of Sonar for sure. I'm not hearing many people talk about the other games. Venba,
I've heard good things about
people
Venba.
talked about.
Yeah.
Venba's cool, and it's like 2 hours long. Like you should absolutely play Venba. That's such a unique little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Probably give it to Chance of Sonar.
You think there's any world where Goodbye Volcano High wins this? You played it, so I don't know.
I don't think so. I do like that game. I also really like A Space for the Unbound. That's another really cool game. Chia didn't really grab me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair. Okay, where are we? Innovation and accessibility. We have Diablo 4, Forza Motorsport, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Mortal Kombat 1, and Street Fighter 6. So accessibility.
Yeah, I don't know enough about what they did for accessibility for all these, other than I know Forza always like knocks it out of the park.
That's kind of why I'm just defaulting to that, because I don't remember. Like I'm in the like privileged category where I don't need to look at accessibility options ever, so I kind of just don't unless something's bothering me in the game. So I actually just don't know. I'm just gonna say Forza.
I wonder if they're considering Street Fighter 6's like new control scheme and accessibility feature, where they like made it like super simple.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
but I don't know. I don't know, because that's almost kind of like the default. So I don't know if that even like counts as accessibility, or if it's just a change. Like I don't know enough about what. I almost kind of wish they would give more details on these.
Yeah.
Like you could click in to kind of see what they're talking about.
Sure. Yeah.
This next category, I always love this category. Best performance. We have Ben Starr from Final Fantasy 16, who does the main character Clive.
Mhm.
Cameron Monaghan for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. He does the main character, who I can't remember his name right now. Idris Elba in Cyberpunk's Phantom Liberty. Melanie LeBird in Alan Wake 2, who is Saga. Neil Newborn, Baldur's Gate 3, who is
Asterion.
Asterion. I was gonna say Ashter, but I knew that wasn't right. And then Yuri Lowenthal for Spider-Man 2, who is Peter Parker. This is hard. Like, these are all great.
So I didn't see Cameron Monaghan's. I didn't play that game, but I played the first one, and he's fine in it. He was fine. I think the standout for me personally was Yuri, so I chose him. I voted for him myself.
There is no way it is not Neil Newborn for Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah,
Everyone loves that character.
Maybe I killed that character. I spent no time with him.
Holy smokes! That's crazy, man. That character's so good and enjoyable.
That character attacked my party, and then I killed him and just was like, "Yep, fuck that guy. Let's keep going."
Man, everyone attacked my party, and you gotta talk. You gotta talk to them. You gotta find out what's going on.
No, we don't talk to vampires. They fucking die.
Oh, I think you missed out on a very cool party member.
No, I doubt it.
Well, okay. Anyway,
it's probably the winner.
He definitely gets it.
I'm giving it to Yuri anyway, but it's probably Neil.
I think one of the main things where I don't see it being Yuri is we got that performance last time.
Yeah, like a similar one.
Just kind of like more of that one, whereas all of these other ones are new. So they kind of have, I don't know, more push towards them. Man, Saga's so good in this.
Yeah, I could.
One of the things
I could see her.
One of the things I really liked about Star Wars Jedi Survivor was the writing and the performances between the characters. That like really stuck out to me.
Oh sure, yeah.
You should play that game. That is a good Star Wars game.
How long is it? I probably don't have time for this year's Game of the Year, but
yeah, it's on the longer side. It's,
yeah.
It's as long as last. It's probably like 30 hours almost, but like it is a good game for sure.
Yeah, I'll probably pick it up on a good sale. All right, best audio design. We have Alan Wake 2, Dead Space, Hi-Fi Rush, Spider-Man 2, and Resident Evil 4. Makes sense that the horror games would be on here because horror games do audio extremely well.
Yeah. Hi-Fi Rush is all about the audio.
I will say this is not score and music, just for people listening at home. This is literally the other stuff because there's a different category for music. I chose Dead Space because it's the sound design in Dead Space is incredible, but
yeah, I didn't play Dead Space or Resident Evil 4, so I don't really know that.
I think Alan Wake takes
is Alan Wake's very cool. But I could also see Hi-Fi Rush because like the whole thing is designed around the audio, right? Like it's a rhythm game as well. But I just don't know if it's. I kind of don't see why Spider-Man is here.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you. Like maybe city sounds while you're like whipping by or something. I don't know. I also don't see it though.
I'm gonna go Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, I went Alan Wake 2 as well. You know what? Then I will go Dead Space. Just
all right.
Why not? Okay, best music and score. So this is the music one. We have Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate, Final Fantasy 16, Hi-Fi Rush, and The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
This is a hard category.
Yes, it is.
If you're going like, what was my favorite song of the year? It's Alan Wake 2.
This song's so good. Yeah.
I actually didn't hear a ton of Baldur's Gate 3 because since I played that on Steam Deck, I often had the audio off.
Uh-huh.
Final Fantasy 16 has some great music as well. So does Tears of the Kingdom. Hi-Fi Rush is all like this is a hard category.
Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush is all music. Yeah.
I'm gonna guess Final Fantasy 16.
Okay. If that does have some really good music in it. Yeah, I'm with you on it, actually. It probably is that. Okay. Best art direction. This is Alan Wake 2, Hi-Fi Rush, Lies of P, Mario Bros. Wonder, and Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh man, this is another hard one. I don't think Tears of the Kingdom gets it.
I agree.
It's kind of just Breath of the Wild again.
Yep.
I don't think Lies of P gets it. I think they're just happy to be nominated. Those other three, I could really see it. In my heart, I want to give it to Alan Wake 2 because just like the blend of like all the FMV stuff they do with the game, like it is so powerful.
Alan Wake 2's technical, like what it does technically to make that game look good, even on low settings, is actually incredible and has been touted as like top class. So I could see if you were just going technicality, that's easily the winner, probably. But like Mario looks so good.
Mario looks great, like it's the Nintendo you expect. And then Hi-Fi Rush, like one of the standout things is like look at this art style.
Yeah. I think it's between Alan Wake or Mario, personally, but I don't know which one. I'll give it to Alan Wake 2. I wonder if they go.
I want to give it to Alan Wake. Like they made such a fantastic package that like is so me.
Okay, fair.
Then we have best
speaking
narrative.
of Alan Wake 2.
Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy 16, and Marvel Spider-Man 2.
It's
another
not Spider-Man.
very hard. You think it's Spider-Man?
No, it's not Spider-Man. Like, I'm sorry, it doesn't belong here.
Spider-Man. I don't think it's Final Fantasy because I think the story is actually like the weakest part of that game.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think Baldur's Gate probably gets it.
Yeah, so the thing is that it's not necessarily like the story and narrative in Alan Wake 2 is very good, but the thing that really makes it special is the way it's told and how like you're kind of going through.
That is this category for outstanding storytelling.
That's why between Baldur's Gate and Alan Wake, like, man, that is so difficult. Okay, which one are you choosing? You're choosing Baldur's Gate?
Baldur's Gate.
I'll do Alan Wake.
Baldur's Gate is such a juggernaut. Like,
yeah.
You know, I think Baldur's Gate is like this year's Elden Ring, where it's like, if that's in the category, you're not beating it.
Yeah, which is super weird because people don't usually play that type of game, but it blew the fuck up. I'm going to choose Alan Wake 2 just in case, so one of us is right, because I think it's one of those two. And I think it's probably Baldur's Gate, frankly, but whatever. Best game direction. Outstanding creative vision and innovation in direction. This one I could actually see. So the category or the nominees are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Mario Bros. Wonder, Tears of the Kingdom. What I was saying that really drew me to Alan Wake for narrative might actually be in here.
Yeah, I want to say Alan Wake 2. This is weird that like Tears of the Kingdom I'm like never picking. Every time it's popped up, I've like never selected Tears of the Kingdom, which is such a crazy thing to think of.
I honestly think the only reason it's here is to like keep fanboys from like spouting dumb bullshit. That's all it is.
I think it absolutely deserves it. Same with Mario Bros. I just like
Tears of the Kingdom doesn't hang in any game of the year list this year because this year is too strong.
Such a strong year.
It's too strong.
Such a strong year.
Like, the only way it hangs on your personal list is that if you didn't play many other games, because there's so many amazing games that came out this year. It's just outclassed.
I'm gonna give it to Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, me too.
They made such a cool package that is like it's just so cool.
Yep. All right, and then the big one, the game of the year. We have Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Mario Wonder, and Tears of the Kingdom. There's no way it's not Baldur's Gate. Like, I'm sorry, everybody else. Thanks for coming out.
I think it's Baldur's Gate. I think if you had to pick one of these to remove, it's Resident Evil 4, right?
Oh, for sure.
I was just trying to think, like, which is the one that's just like happy to be here.
Like, as far as I'm concerned, this is between Alan Wake, Baldur's Gate, and Mario. But, you know, whatever.
I think you're discounting Tears of the Kingdom more than everyone else is going to be doing.
Oh, for sure, because I didn't think that game was very good. It was literally the same thing
like,
again.
So I could see it being literally any of these games except for Resident Evil 4, and unfortunately Alan Wake 2, because Alan Wake is just such a weird dark horse. I don't know where it'll land with people.
That's fair.
Spider-Man is just kind of more Spider-Man, so I could see why that would slip off, but Spider-Man 2 is also very good.
It is. Spider-Man and Tears of the Kingdom, you could kick both off this list and it would make sense to me. The difference is I care about Spider-Man more than I care about Legend of Zelda, specifically Breath of the Wild style Legend of Zelda. That's the only reason.
That's a fun little thought experiment. If you removed Resident Evil 4, what would you put here instead? The one I've been hearing a lot of people were saying was Starfield.
Oh, fuck no. I mean, I didn't keep playing it. I didn't like that game very much at all. But that's a good question. I guess I didn't really think about Game of the Year stuff, like, fully yet.
Yeah, I hadn't thought too much. Ones that come to mind that that I quite like: Lies of P, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, maybe one of those two.
I definitely think Lies of P should be here instead of Resident Evil 4. That makes sense to me more so.
What this category makes me very excited for is when they do that big musical montage where they do all the music for the 6 games all together. And I hope it's the Alan Wake 2 song.
Yeah, I mean, of course it's going to be,
right? As opposed to some like non-lyrical song that they just had, or just like, you know, because that one also has like a guitar solo in it. Maybe they just put that of it. But I would love if they dropped the chorus from that in there. But no, because they don't have lyrics, right? Because it's like the orchestra doing it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like an orchestral version of that song. Anyway.
I think if I was going to switch some stuff out, I would switch out for Resident Evil Lies of P. I'd switch out, instead of Spider-Man, Armored Core. And instead of Tears of the Kingdom, probably Final Fantasy 16. It's kind of a similar thing, but it's completely new in the way it does that game style.
I had forgot about Final Fantasy 16. I could have seen that being on the list. I could have seen Armored Core also being on this list.
I think I would probably do that myself, but like
I don't think I could have seen Lies of P on this list. I just don't think it got enough. Like, it wasn't big enough
in like the mainstream for sure. Yeah.
Now that you mentioned Final Fantasy 16, like that almost seems like an easy one to swap for Resident Evil 4, because that was also a really big one. Yeah.
It's actually a little crazy to me. Like, listen, I still have to finish that game, and I don't think it's like amazing or anything, but it is one of the best games of this year by far. Like, that game is really good in a lot of ways. And Resident Evil 4, as much as I really love Resident Evil 4, this version of it, it is that game again. So there's part of me that's like, the reason I love it so much is some familiarity. Not necessarily because it's a great brand new experience, I think.
Baldur's Gate 3 wins it.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's like, thanks for coming out, everybody else, but come on.
Again, I feel towards Baldur's Gate 3 in terms of these as I did with Elden Ring, where it's like, you should be happy you were nominated, but unfortunately this game came out, so.
What would you do if Tears of the Kingdom does win it? They're just like, yeah, it's the game of the year. It's the best game this year.
I'm not talking negatively about Tears of the Kingdom like you are. I think that's a very good game.
No, it's just okay. But Alan Wake 2 winning this would break my brain. I don't think there's any way it wins Game of the Year. That seems
I don't think
crazy.
that wins it, but like,
Would you remove it? Like, if you could be like, I need, like, this is ridiculous, you shouldn't have Alan Wake on here, or are you like, no, it probably deserves, like, at least
No, I think it
one on?
deserves it.
Okay.
I think it deserves it.
Yeah, whatever. Either way, it's Baldur's Gate.
Honestly, it makes me excited to watch the Game Awards next month. I
Yeah.
always have a fun time watching the Game Awards. So
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do. I love it.
And okay, so let's that's the news. So let's do some questions. If you want to send a question in, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's PO Box. This first one comes in from Matthew that said, "What would be the funniest or weirdest place to find the phrase, 'This place is not a place of honor'?"
I mean, like, obvious bathroom, like, that's probably...
I was thinking like high school boys' locker room.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much anyone's bedroom, I think, is funny.
Yeah, bedroom's pretty good.
I bet like this has to be someone's like floor mat, like doormat, right? To their like house.
I guess so. What about like a change room or something? Any place where people like can get naked is pretty funny.
Okay, so I was trying to type in, "This place is not a place of honor," and I was gonna put doormat, but it auto-filled to booty shorts. So now I'm looking that up. And yeah, you can get those as booty shorts. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Any fast food restaurant?
Yeah, fast food restaurants, like a review or something on Yelp. That's pretty good place to see it for something. Yep. That's good. Yep. Kevin writes, how much of a game do you have to play before you no longer feel comfortable returning it? Over 2 hours as a PC gamer is my answer.
Well, that's because that's the Steam one, right?
Yep. Because I don't want to have to email somebody to return it.
What if that game is 90 minutes long? Are you still comfortable returning it?
Like if I beat it in that time? Nah, there's... Yep. No, because I got the thing. Like, I did the thing. I'm not gonna just get my money back. That's fucked up.
That's okay. So does it have to? So is it a percentage then? Because it's clearly not a time.
Yeah, it has to be a percentage. Probably. Although, if I spent $80 Canadian on a game and it was 90 minutes, I might return that and just be like, what the fuck? So, maybe. I guess it depends how good the 90 minutes is.
It would be pretty hard to do that in this day and age and not know about that going into it.
True. Especially because we talk about video games every week and are pretty in...
Just like that would be such like a weird scenario that you would have heard about that online. Like, you know,
yeah, this game
press
is
would
too
have been
short.
talking about that.
Totally.
Yeah, it's hard because like the percentage one doesn't work if the game is really long, but it only works if the game is really short. So I don't know. I'm trying to think if I've even ever returned a game. I don't think I've returned a game.
I definitely have multiple times for various reasons.
It's also pretty rare that I'm buying a game that I don't have some knowledge of.
Oh yeah, that's not rare for me at all. I'll buy a game just based on a screenshot and try it out. Yes. I do that all the time.
Yeah, I usually will have like heard about it from somewhere. I'll probably do a little bit of research into it. Maybe I know the developer, seen stuff like that. Like I'd probably have some knowledge. It's pretty rare. So if I'm buying a game, I've already kind of made up my mind.
Sure. Yeah. It's also a little bit different now because I play a lot of my random shit is just on Game Pass now. It kind of scratches that itch of like, I'll just see what's on here if I don't have anything to play. Let's try this out now.
Yeah, that's probably the closest ones I do play to like not knowing about them. But even then, like the ones I'm picking off of Game Pass are still probably like
ones you've heard of.
ones I've heard of, and also it also comes down to like I'm investing my time now, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna play stuff that is interesting to me, as opposed to like I have nothing to play in my backlog. Let's roll the dice on whatever this is.
sure, right.
Phantom Driver. As somewhat public figures yourself, how do you deal with social anxiety? For instance, I went to a concert and I was afraid to sing along for fear that others would laugh at me or that I wouldn't fit in. Same goes for journalistic interviews where I feel awkward or like the person on the other end is annoyed by me or finds me creepy or strange. Do you guys ever get this feeling? If so, how do you handle it? This reminds me of the Reductress headline of it was like woman feeling insecure dancing at this place where everyone else is dancing.
Sure, sure. Yeah. I mean, it's the same root cause for sure. So, yeah, I get this all the time. The answer
Okay.
isn't a great one. I shut that thing up in my head and then I stress out about it afterwards if I think actually something came of it. But the real answer is that if it's really bad, you probably need some medication or therapy of some sort to help you get past a lot of like basic things that is causing it. But the more you do something, the less scary it becomes because you're kind of training your brain that you're going to be okay. And that's like just with a lot of stuff in life, that like asking girls out, getting rejected, like all of that sort of thing. You just got to kind of do it and shut that thing up in your head for enough time that you can just do it and kind of get better at it.
I don't get this too often. Ones that have come to mind like were like the interviews and stuff. Those were definitely I was definitely nervous. Like when Jeff Keighley, Reggie Fils-Aimé for sure. In scenarios like that where it's kind of a professional state, my advice is just like treat it professionally. Like this person wouldn't have agreed to the interview. Like they know what this is, and these people probably do in interviews all the time. They're going to treat it professionally, so you should just treat it professionally. And if you get in and out, and you didn't screw anything up, and you were chill and professional the whole time, then there shouldn't be anything to worry about. So
Yep.
you know making sure you have like a plan going in, a solid plan that you've like rehearsed. I'm just trying to
Preparation
think of stuff I
for sure.
questions. I was crowdsourcing questions from coworkers, from friends. I was memorizing my questions. I was thinking of every kind of thing, and if you over prepare, that can kind of help. It's Murphy's law. If you
Yep.
if you plan if you plan for the worst won't happen. In terms of just kind of more social scenarios for social anxiety, again, I don't have a ton of social anxiety, but the one thing I can kind of say is that throughout my life, or that there's stuff that's coming to mind, the the best things that have ever happened to me in my life are when I got out of my comfort zone.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like literally every single time where I was like, man, it's going to be kind of weird for me to try that or do that, but I pushed myself and did it. Those are the best moments of my entire life. So I try to remind myself that of like, it could go wrong, but it could go spectacularly, and it has gone spectacularly. So you should absolutely push yourself out of your comfort zone whenever you can.
Yeah, it's super easy to think that like, what if it goes bad? But if you're able to kind of train yourself to say, yeah, but like, what if it goes really good though?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, it's super easy to go into the pessimistic, like survival mode almost, where you don't want to do it because you feel unsafe. Just think like, yeah, but what if like this is the best thing I've ever done? It kind of helps change your frame of reference for everything in your mind, and then you just need that 1 second of bravery to do it and then get used to doing it, sort of thing. I don't know, there's no secret to it, you just have to do it, unfortunately. Rasterman says, is there a game you wish you never replayed, and a game that you don't see yourself replaying unless forced to do so, and one that by replaying it you were inclined to go back to it multiple times afterwards? Okay, so kind of a three-parter. You don't replay games really, so what
So like that second one, a game that you don't see yourself replaying unless forced to do so. Almost every game.
all of them, yeah.
I wish I never replayed.
Yeah, that one's interesting to me.
The only thing that kind of comes to mind, but I don't fully feel this, is like when Burnout Paradise Remastered came out and I played it and I'm like, you know, this is not really a modern racing game anymore. So I guess I'm
Yeah.
thinking a little less of it now. But at the same time, it's like, no, I'm glad I played Remastered. Like, it didn't sully my memories of that game.
I don't think there's ever been a game that I wish I had never replayed, because if I'm having a bad time replaying it, I'll just put it down and be like, no, it's not the same or whatever, and I'm okay with it. It's not like it ruined my experience or anything.
And then one that I replayed and then made maybe go back multiple times. Nope.
Oh, I mean, yeah, when I was speedrunning Resident Evil, like, it made me go back multiple times to get faster at that. Mario 64 for a little bit there when I was learning the 16-star speedrun. Yeah, there's plenty. But that usually the intention is there before, not because I went back to it, I would say.
Suki, what is the best video game set in Thanksgiving? I have no idea.
That's a damn good question, actually. Thanksgiving. Madden NFL is the first thing that came up. Man, I don't know.
I can't even find some games because they're just giving me games to like play with your family at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the best thing I'm kind of getting is this has a turkey in it at some point. It's like, that's not okay. That's not really what I'm looking for.
Yeah, no, I don't know. This does make me, it reminds me I also just got the DLC for Lake, which is Christmas themed. So I'm very excited to play that because we're getting into that season. I have no answer for Thanksgiving. I can't even think of a Thanksgiving game.
I can't even like Google one. I'm still looking.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I get, yeah, any cooking game, I guess. Waste of resources writes, who is the coolest silent protagonist?
Coolest. I don't know. Samus? Samus is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. The weird thing.
Gordon Freeman.
Well, that's the thing, is that the weird thing is that they have to have kind of a personality still. Like, they have to have a charisma to them. Otherwise, they're not the coolest. They're just like your avatar into that universe.
Yeah, so like not Gordon Freeman then.
Yeah, Gordon Freeman was the one that came to mind. I'm like, but is he really cool?
To be fair though, like Samus doesn't have much of a personality, but I still think she's really cool. Link has a ton of personality, but he's not fully silent. Like you'll get some like grunts and stuff.
And I guess Samus does talk eventually, which is why people hate Other M, because she's pretty bad in that. Man. I can't even think of...
No, my character in Elden Ring was pretty badass.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, all of the Souls like protagonists are kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah. That's what comes to mind. Dead. So what video game consoles have you given as a gift?
I gave my brother a PlayStation 2 years and years ago for Christmas or whatever.
Okay. I don't think I've given anyone a console as a gift.
It's a pretty big ticket gift. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah.
Oh, I bought my girlfriend a DS back in the day as well.
Okay.
Yeah. But otherwise not much. Hayes Hero X writes, One day you're crossing the street and suddenly, pow, truck hit you. Eventually you wake up in the hospital. Everything seems fine. You survive, no broken bones, no damage, organs, nothing. But then you realize in the corner of your sight, a little icon. It's a photo of your head with a ×3 next to it. The counter goes down to ×2. That's how you survived the crash. One of your lives was used. Now that you know you have extra lives, how do you live your life? Do you do more risky things or play it safe? Also, do you think that X0 means death or your last life? My life doesn't change, honestly. Like, I don't play risky. That's crazy.
I think X0 means death, because
Totally.
otherwise it would mean that you had 4 lives, and it's, what are you doing? It's video games rule of 3.
And I mean, it's just the rules of life. Anytime, anything times 0 is 0. So no life left.
I do live my life riskier.
Do you?
Not crazy riskier, but just ones where I figure I would start doing stuff where it's like, I could get hurt doing that.
Really? Okay. Like what?
I think so, because I would wait until my last life, and then I would just go back to how I live my life now. So I might as well use those lives a little bit, because I'm already doing it cautiously.
Sure. I'm banking on the idea that I could get hit by another car randomly that I wouldn't know, and this way I'm still safe. So that's kind of my side.
I guess. But I mean, in real life now, that could happen. And so yeah, I start doing stuff that like scares me, that I avoid doing, like cliff jumping or bungee jumping, skydiving.
So
stuff that's like
yeah,
if this goes bad, it goes really bad, but it's like, no, now I have a little bit of a safety net.
Sure. I never want to do those anyway, so it's easy for me to not want to do those later. But yeah, I guess it makes sense of like one of the things is like, I would love to go like skydiving or bungee jumping every weekend, but I'm afraid that I might die. Like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't you then?
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
We don't usually get this, but thanks for the bits in chat. Appreciated.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
BGC Kenny writes, which would you rather have? A game with many small issues or a game with one big issue? Note, the game itself isn't bad in either scenario, it's just flawed.
Oh, man.
I guess it depends what the big issue is, because if it was like the camera doesn't work well, that's a pretty big issue.
Or like for a long game, you can't save or something. Like,
that's a super big issue. But if it was a scenario where it's just like this one section kind of sucks, like for example, like the underwater temple is annoying. I would probably take that over one with a bunch of little small issues.
This is a really difficult, like, philosophical question in its own weird way. Wow. Yeah. So it's not bad in either scenario. There's just either one big flaw or a bunch of little flaws. I think the one big flaw, because once I get used to, like, that's just the way it is, I could probably get used to it and around it. A lot of little things popping up here and there would be, like, a lot of, like, little knives sticking you or something, just annoying, you know?
Again, for me, it determines what the issue is. Because like I said, if it was like you can't save or the camera is awful to use, like those are pretty big issues that I don't know I could play a whole game like that. And I would probably in those scenarios take the smaller ones. But if it was just like this section of the game is broken or whatever, it's like, okay, well, I just have to get past that and then I'm good.
What if one of the big issues is it's a Mario game, but you can't properly jump all the time? Sometimes it just doesn't read one of your jumps. Like that's
that's the one big issue.
Yeah, but that's a pretty
the inputs just.
It's a pretty
big one for sure.
That might be game breaking enough that I don't want to play it. Actually.
Yeah, that'd be pretty rough. I mean, if it's happening randomly, theoretically, it's like, okay, well, it just happened, so I'm probably safe for a few minutes.
Right, yeah.
But at the other time, it's just like, that would just be annoying. Like, why am I playing this game if it's going to keep doing that?
Yeah, I think I'm still going to go with the one big issue. Because then if it's, like, big enough, I just won't play it. Yes.
I guess since they did say the game itself isn't bad, it means the big issue can't be that big, because if it's that big, then the game would be considered bad.
Yeah, true. So it wouldn't be game breaking to like ruin the
Yeah,
experience. Yeah,
exactly.
I'll
Yeah.
take it. I'll take that. That's
I
fine.
think I'll take that. Yeah.
All right. Final question from Phantom Aegis. What are your favorite social media platforms? Why is it your favorite? They all obviously have their flaws and issues that that deserve criticism, but there's a reason why we still use it.
Mine's Twitter. Like that's
It's
just like
Twitter.
how I get my news.
I mean, mine's Twitter because, like it or not, that's still where people are. When people leave it and go to another thing, there's no point in the social media if there's no social. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Like the ones I use the most are like Twitter and Instagram, but like I get news, daily news and everything on Twitter. Like that's yeah, it's like I need Twitter.
I like TikTok quite a bit too, but that's more entertainment. It's not. I don't find it like a social media. I find it kind of almost like a YouTube or something.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that. Sure. All right. If you want to send in questions for next week, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What is your game of the week?
Risk of Rain returns.
And mine is going to be Alan Wake 2. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll be back next week, probably for a Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah.
So
See you then.
otherwise, if not, have a good American Thanksgiving.
Bye.